Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to make my Meteor blanket. And this one is, as you can see, the centre is all one colour, but then towards the edges I've started to add a different colour. And the reason why that I've done this is because it's actually easier, you know, like with the Flower of Life, it's actually easier for me to do it in colours so that you can actually see how the sections build up. Okay, so I'm going to try my best. Hopefully this video, I'm going to be doing like a crochet along, so it'll actually be done over 2 videos, and we will actually be making this sample piece. Okay, so I'm using my number 4mm crochet hook, which is a G6 in the US, and I'm just using some double knit baby yarn, and I'm using green. It's like a very delicate mint green colour for the centre. So to start off with, I'm going to do my twist. You can actually begin with a slip knot if you prefer, and we need to make a chain of 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to slip stitch together to join, or it'll be a single crochet to join if you're in the UK. Into the middle of the actual circle that we've just made, we need to work 8 single crochet if you're in the US, or double crochet if you're in the UK. So that's 1, 2, and I'm tucking the tail under as I go along, okay? Save sewing in later on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then we're going to slip stitch to join, or do a single crochet to join in the very first single crochet or double crochet, depending which country you're in. So you'll end up with a little circle. Yours might be a little bit oval, but it's okay. And then we want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to slip stitch or single crochet into the next stitch along. Okay, and repeat all the way around. So it's chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch or double crochet, single crochet into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next stitch along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Working into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, 4. And into the next stitch. I've just got a bit of a tangle. There we go. Get myself sorted. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So slip stitch or single crocheting into that stitch there, and then we're going to use that slip stitch or that single crochet there for the very last one. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and work into that stitch just there, and that will make sure that we've got a circle which has got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loops on the outside. We're going to work into this next loop, and what we're going to do is it's either a slip stitch because you're going through and pulling through, or it could actually be classed as a change because you're going to go back into that same space and do a second one. So we need to do, it's a little chain of 2 which is actually fallen inside so that your yarn actually comes through that actual loop there. Okay, and then we're going to work 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and do a slip stitch or a single crochet into the next loop along, and we do that all the way around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next loop, then 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need to pour myself some more yarn. And then for the end of this round, where you did this little chain inside that loop, we need to slip stitch or single crochet into that same loop to finish this round. So we now got 8 more loops on the outside, and it looks like a little flower. Now we're going to do the same action again. We're going to be doing a slip stitch or a chain through this loop. So that's 1, and in again to make 2. And as you can see on this round, you can see that that chain is actually, and the yarn's gone between the loop. Excuse me. And on this round, this is round 3, well it's actually round 4, we're actually going to do a chain of 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I forgot to say that this is the smaller version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing this one because this is the easier one to start people off with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Work into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the next loop, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember that this is where we've got this little chain work. We need to work into that stitch there to finish this round. And I'm just going to put that down a minute because I'll put my scissors over here. I don't know over why. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this coloured yarn, pull the tail end through the front, and then where we've got this little bit of a chain work, we've got the chain going through the front and through the back there, so I'm going to go through that space, pick up my tail end and pull it through to the back. And this is just so that it makes it easier to sew that in when we're working later on. And now I'm going to change over to a different colour. Now if you wanted to work all in one colour, you wouldn't actually cast off at that point. But like I said, I'm trying to show you the easiest way that I can so that you can learn how this works. And so I'm going to do my twist to be able to cast on, or you can do a slip knot. And then where I've finished off the end of this round, I'm actually going to begin with, this is a single crochet if you're in the US, or a double crochet if you're in the UK. I'll just do that there and just slide that down the chain if I can, just so that that's in a better place, and pull the end tighter. So that's, and we need to work 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. And don't worry if yours is like mine, it's gone a little bit messy there. When you finish the end of the round, it does tidy up. Now we need to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go back into that same loop and work 3 more stitches. So it's either single crochet if you're in the US, or double crochet if you're in the UK. And that's my 3 stitches. Okay, then we work into the next loop. So we go 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and back into the same loop and work 3 more stitches. That's 2 and 3. And with this pattern, what we're going to do is we're going to be making little stars. And the first star is the only star that you actually make all the way around to start off with. And you'll see as we go along what happens, because I'm going to try and crochet as much as I can. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so that you can see how it all builds up together. So that's 1, 2, 3, into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, into the same loop, 1, 2, 3, into the next loop, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, excuse me, 1, 2 and 3, into the next loop, 1, 2, 3, I just need to pull my yarn, and the chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the next, into the same loop, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and into the next loop, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and then the last loop, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 and 3, and then we slip stitch to join in the very first stitch, and then I'm just going to cut this end off there and pull that end through there, then underneath those 2 stitches put my hook, pull the yarn back to the opposite side, and then I'm going to actually tie this into a knot ready for sewing in at a later point. Okay, now at this point what I'm going to say to you is you can either pause the video and I want you to work these middle pieces, because you actually need to make yourself 3 more in of the centers of the star to be able to carry on. Okay, so or you can rewind and go back to the beginning if you've forgotten how to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my next star. So if you've actually paused the video, made your pieces, and then you rejoined me, hello. If you're just watching the video all the way through, then still hello. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cast on again with the blue in the same point where I cast on before, with the single crochet if you're in the US, or the double crochet if you're in the UK. And so we still work the 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now we need to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is where you pull your tail end up, you remove your hook, you get your star that you're actually going to be joining to. If you're right-handed, you always need to keep your star to your right, and if you're left-handed, you keep your star to your left. It just makes it easier to pick it up. So you're going to put your hook through the hole that you've made in that chain 3 space, then collect your tail end of this one, pull this all the way through, and then make sure that your yarn is nice and tight around your hook, and finish off the rest of this sequence. So now we need to do 1, 2, 3, and you'll see that you've joined your star to the other star. Now we're going to work into the next section. Work 3, 1, 2, oops, 2, I'm sorry, I've lost my tension, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, pull that tail end up, put your hook through the chain of 3 there, pull this through, make sure that your yarn's nice and tight on your hook, and then finish the sequence in the same loop by working your 3 more stitches. That's 1, 2, 3. And the reason why I say to do this at the beginning of the round is because it's a lot easier, because you tend to forget if you do it the other way around, and I know that from experience. And so now I'm going to finish off the rest of my star. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whoops, 3. And you'll see when we actually go to join extra stars on, it's slightly different. So please bear with me and watch this video all the way through and try and learn as much as you can from it, because it's really nice once you know how to do it and what you're doing. Okay, we'll go back to counting now. 1, 2, 3. Into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 stitches in there. 1, 2, 3, into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, back into that same loop. 1, 2, 3, into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 2, 3, into that same loop. 1, 2, 3. Just get myself some more yarn, and the last loop of this particular star. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 2, 3, and the last 3 stitches into the same loop. 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to slip stitch or do a single crochet into the first stitch to join. I'm going to cut off my yarn, pull the tail end, whoops, that was a long one, pull that through and through to the back, turn it over, and I'm tying the knots now because it's easier to remember that you've tied them all up rather than trying to work at it later on. I'm just going to cut a piece off that because that's a bit long. There we go. And so now we've got, I know you've got your tail ends at the minute, but it's easy to work in stages with this one and sew tail ends in later on. So now we've got 2 pieces joined together. Okay, so I'm going to get my third middle of my star and show you how to join the third one, and then we'll join the fourth one, and then in the second video we'll show you how to put the edging on to change it, because obviously at the minute it's got all these points on it, and I'll show you how to put the edging and the insert on in the second video. Okay, so I'm casting on and I'm working the same stitches, so I'll do 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to pull that tail end a bit to make that neater there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now when we're joining, once you've made your little rows, because if you're going to make a blanket, you can make yourself a huge long row of this one if you want to, or you can make it in squares and go around. But whichever way you do it, keep your work to the right hand side or the left hand side if you're left-handed, and start with the top star, and you join on with the top star, because we're going to work, always working in anti-clockwise scenario if you're right-handed. So pull that nice and tight there. Finish off this loop. 1, 2, 3. Work into the next loop. 1, 2, 3. Chain 3. Pull my tail end up. Put my hook through my star. Collect my piece that I'm working on. Make sure it's all pulled nice and tight, and then work 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and so now we've got our 2 points of our stars joined together there, and we need to complete the rest of this star, which is exactly the same sequence that we've been doing all the time, which is the 3 stitches, chain 3, and then work 3 more stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, into the next loop. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, work the 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, into the next loop, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, whoops, into the same loop, 1, 2, 3. I've got 2 more loops to do of this particular star, so that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the last loop, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, into the same loop, 1, 2, and 3. And the same again. Whoops, we need to slip stitch or single crochet to join into the first stitch. Cut off my yarn, pull the tail end through, pull the tail end through to the back, turn it over. So I think in this one, if you get yourself into like a little routine with it, because it's a time consuming pattern, but it's well worth it. It's very pretty when it's done. And so now you can see we've actually got 3. Move the tail ends a little bit out of the way, but we've got our 3 stars joined together. So now we're going to do the 4th star, and the 4th star is the one where you'll see what I mean by it. If you start from the top, so working in this anti-clockwise position, you're going to join here, here, and then here and here, which is going to leave you this circle in the middle, which is actually 8-sided. I just need to find my beginning bit there. So I'll work 1, 2, 3, just pull that a little bit neater, 1, 2, 3, pull the tail end up. I'm going to go through this one first, and then we're going to work back into that same loop. That's 1, 2, 3. This is a little bit more awkward to show you because I've got the desk underneath me, but when you're doing it on your lap, it is actually easier to hold your work up in the air. 2, 3. Now we're going to join onto this second part of the star. And then we're going to work our 3 stitches here. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to start working the 3 into this one. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Make my chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Pull my tail end up. Turn my work. Put my hook through this one. And then pull this through here. Make that nice and tight. You will notice as your piece gets bigger and bigger, it is actually a little bit, it's more time consuming because you've got to be manoeuvring. Let me just do the stitches 1, 2, 3. Is that correct? I don't know if I've done the correct. I'm going to undo this one because I'm not sure if I've counted the correct stitches. Because I was chalking. Oh, now I've split my yarn. Need to go through a nice piece there to get that back. Just make sure this is correct. 1, 2, 3. You have to make sure that you've counted your stitches correctly because 2, 3. So now I need to do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Pull that tail end up. Put my hook through there. Collect this end. Pull this through. And then finish off this loop. 1, 2, 3. So now you can see that they're all joined and we've got this hole in the middle, which when I first did it I was like, okay then, how do I fill in the hole and still keep it in a nice shape? So in the next video, 1, 2, 3. I'll be showing you how to do the insert 1, 2, 3, and also the edges, which I've done, which matches the actual way you do the insert. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work the 3, 1, 2, 3, 2 more loops to go, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, last loop, 1, 2, whoops daisy, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to slip stitch or single crochet to join, cut off my tail end, pull that through the front, and then pull it back through the back, flip it over, and tie this into a double knot. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew in the ends of one of my stars, just so that you can see the centre of the star. Because you worked that as you was going around, you can cut that off. So that's one piece done. And then this, the pearl end, what you want to do is actually thread your needle, and because you've pulled it through that looped area there, if you just tuck into that and then just go into this where you've actually worked over the chain and pull it through there, that'll hide that stitch there, or that tail end. And then this piece here where you've actually attached your yarn with your different colour, if you sew your tail ends, do exactly the same into there where you've actually worked your stitches over, and pull that through so that they're nice and neat, tucked out of the way, and then cut that nice and closely. Be careful not to cut it so close you actually cut that, because I actually did that once on one of mine and ruined it. But there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you, I'm going to sew in the rest of my tail ends, and then I'm going to come back and we're actually going to show you how you're, by filling in the insert of here and adding the edges, completely changes this work to give you this beautiful effect. I mean, it's still beautiful like this, don't get me wrong, but the inserts, if you don't fill those in, as you later on, they actually start to become distorted. Okay, so thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing, and hopefully if all goes to plan you'll be able to come and follow me in part 2. Bye for now.